There are lives that are lived, and there are lives that are offered. Most people search for comfort, some search for success, but very rarely a soul is born that refuses both and seeks only truth. This is the story of such a soul, a young boy who walked away from the world to sit at the lotus feet of his guru and dissolve himself completely. Stay with me, because this is not just his story. Somewhere it is also about you. Sada Shiva Samarambam Shri Shivarudra Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. With humility, I offer this at the lotus feet of my divine Guru, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj. His name at birth was Srinivasa Dikshitar. He was born on September 20th, 1954 in Kolar, South India. He was the youngest, the baby of the family. His father, Dr. Shankara Dikshitar, had lost his own parents as a child. He faced hardships most people don't even survive. But he never lost his faith. Through honesty, willpower, and hard work, he became a doctor in 1932. He treated the poor as a mission and not as a job. And that value, which is service as sacred, was passed to all his children. His mother, Sharada, was a very pious and devotional mother. She carried what I can only describe as quiet iron. She was soft-spoken, gentle, and kind to servants and the poor, but inside an immovable strength. She used to say, "You never know in what form God may come to test your character. You cannot fool God." Srinivasa Dikshitar grew up in that home, that atmosphere. And then, one day, when he was around 7 years of age, he heard his sister sing a song, Bhaja Govindam. It is a composition by Adi Shankara, which was written to wake up people from spiritual sleep. The meaning of the song touched his heart profoundly. It goes something like this: sing the glory of God and remember Him. Strive to adopt the divine consciousness, because when death comes to the body, no worldly wealth, status, or power will come to your rescue. Most children hear that and forget it by dinner. But Srinivasa Dikshitar couldn't stop thinking about it. He would sit in corner, alone, contemplating birth, contemplating death, and contemplating the soul. He felt, even as a boy, that this world was not his true home. And then he found the answer hidden inside the same song, which says, "Surrender yourself at the lotus feet of the Guru and become free from the cycle of birth and death." So he prayed simply and directly, "Dear Lord, please send me to a realized master, one who has liberated himself and one who can lead me also to that liberation." That prayer would be answered, but not the way he expected. One day, Srinivasa Dikshitar was sitting in a Hanuman temple, contemplating as usual. A voice spoke to him. It was not in his head, but it was a voice which he could hear very clearly. It said, "Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj is your Guru. It is he you are waiting for. You will get everything from him." He looked around, but there was no one. And the voice continued, Go to the Raghavendra Swami temple. There you will learn about your Guru. So he went to the temple, and there he's noticed a priest was narrating a scripture, a story from a scripture. And there were a lot of old people sitting and listening to it. When the crowd left, an elderly gentleman noticed the young boy still sitting. Then he came to him and he asked, "What are you doing here in the middle of old people? Have you run away from home?" So Srinivasa Dikshitar replied simply, "I am looking for my Guru." That gentleman happened to be disciple of Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj. He gave Srinivasa Dikshitar a book. Srinivasa Dikshitar went home and scoured the pages of the book hungrily. A few days later, the news came that Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj was coming to Mysore. That night before Swamiji's arrival, Srinivasa Dikshitar could barely sleep. And when he finally did sleep, a vision came. The glowing form of Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj appeared and asked, "What do you want?" And without thinking, Srinivasa Dikshitar said, "Give me jnana, bhakti and vairagya, that is knowledge, devotion and detachment." Swamiji offered him a stick. "Here, this will give you anything you desire." Srinivasa Dikshitar said, "I want you, Swamiji." Swamiji smiled. He broke the stick and cast it aside. Swamiji said, "This could give you only the things of this world. But if you want God, this stick is of no use to you." Then Swamiji poured sacred vibhuti over his head and whispered a mantra. "Om Shivaya, Shivabalayogendraya, Parabrahmanaya." And then, after whispering the mantra, Swamiji said, "Keep repeating this name always. No harm can come to you, and you will have the power to serve me." The next morning, Srinivasa Dikshitar went to the ashram. When the great Yogi, Swamiji, stepped out from his car, Srinivasa was spellbound. He saw the bright eyes of Swamiji, the magnificent matted hair, and the gentle smile. Srinivasa Dikshitar simply fell in love. Then he went home and told his mother, "I have found my Guru. The time has come for me to leave home." His mother was silent for a long moment. Then she said, "How do you know he is a genuine yogi? What if he is a fraudster?" Srinivasa Dikshitar replied, "I simply want Swamiji. I don't know anything else." She looked at her youngest son and she gave him the most loving, difficult answer a mother can give. "Wait for 3 years. And if after 3 years your mind is still unwavering, I will send you with my blessings. I don't want you to turn back on your chosen path later." Srinivasa Dikshitar agreed. For 3 years he stayed. He kept in touch with Swamiji through letters. He attended the ashram for Swamiji's birthday. He continued his daily meditation. His family enrolled him in a college to study botany. Eventually, he wrote a desperate letter to Swamiji. "I have no interest in worldly life. I wish only to come to your lotus feet." Swamiji replied, "If you are interested, you can come and live in the Dehradun ashram. It is situated in the foothills of the Himalayas. This is very ideal for your stay and sadhana." His mother, who had been watching all this time, blessed him. On the holy day of Deepavali, Srinivasa Dikshitar boarded a train to Dehradun. When Srinivasa Dikshitar arrived at the Dehradun ashram, he was speechless. He saw a beautiful palatial building, the panoramic view of Himalayan foothills. He didn't know how to cook, he didn't speak Hindi, and he knew nothing about running an ashram. An elderly named Tilakamma had been sent to train him. She taught him how to cook, how to clean, how to do daily puja. When Swamiji came to check on him and asked, "How do you like this place?" Srinivasa Dikshitar replied, "I think I am in heaven." Tilakamma then asked Swamiji if she could give Srinivasa Dikshitar the Bhagavad Gita to read. Swamiji smiled. "Let him clean the toilets of the ashram. He will learn the essence of the Gita." What is the use of reading scripture if ego is still intact? That was the teaching. Not from a lecture, but from a mob. Then something happened that tested everything. A regular visitor to the ashram, a former Maharani who had taken the name of Nagendra Swami, was murdered in her residence. She was attacked violently at night, and in cold blood she was murdered. Tilakamma was shattered, and she would wake up screaming from the nightmares. She used to urge Srinivasa Dikshitar, "We must leave. This place has become too dangerous now." Srinivasa Dikshitar wrote to Swamiji explaining the situation. Swamiji's reply came back, "Do not leave the ashram under any circumstances. I will bless and look after you so that no one will touch even a single hair on your head." Soon after Tilakamma left, Srinivasa Dikshitar stayed. He stayed alone. His only support was his faith in his Guru and the strength of his own character. Slowly he built a daily structure. He would wake up before dawn, meditate, prepare tea, then clean the hall, bathe, then perform puja at Swamiji's shrine, then cook, eat and meditate again. Perform the evening puja and bhajans, and again meditate and go to sleep. Day after day, month after month. Then one day in 1978, when he was sitting under a mango tree in the orchard after a long meditation, something shifted in him. He felt the grace of his master quietly descend on him, and in a moment of enlightenment, an amazing truth dawned inside him. If the divine is all-pervading, how can that which is all-pervading escape our eyes? Whatever we see is nothing but the divine. Only we have failed to recognize him due to our imaginations. In that moment, he saw his Guru everywhere, in everything, as everything. Srinivasa Dikshitar ceased to exist. Only the Guru remained. Good or bad, pleasant or painful, he endured both the dualities of this world with equanimity. Total surrender had occurred. And still, the training continued. One evening, Swamiji gave Srinivasa Dikshitar a small test. He placed a chair near the entrance of the bhajan hall and told Srinivasa Dikshitar, "Sit there. Do not get up until I come to you." Swamiji did not come outside that night. He sent a word through devotees, "Srinivasa Dikshitar can leave. Swamiji will not be coming out today." Srinivasa Dikshitar refused. He said, "I will only get up when Swamiji comes here," as he had ordered. Swamiji sent the word through the kitchen that no food unless Srinivasa Dikshitar comes to eat. Devotees warned Srinivasa that Swamiji is very angry. He may throw you out of the ashram. Srinivasa Dikshitar just sat and he did not move. Throughout the night, throughout the bite of the mosquitoes, he just endured. And he kept reciting his mantra silently, "Om Shivaya, Shivabalayogi Parabrahmanaya." Then at 4 a.m. in the morning, Swamiji quietly came out carrying a torch. Srinivasa Dikshitar immediately prostrated at his Guru's feet. Swamiji smiled and he said, "This was a test. You have passed." When you are trying to achieve something, you need to be totally determined and persevere, come what may. Soon, Swamiji's health began to decline diabetes, liver and kidney damage, internal bleeding, a persistent cough, a wound on one foot that would never heal. Yet he continued his mission's work tirelessly. On March 28, 1994, at a hospital in Kakinada, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj took Mahasamadhi. He left his body. When Srinivasa Dikshitar heard the news, he rushed to Adivarapupeta. He had darshan of Swamiji's physical body one last time. After performing the rites, he just walked alone up to the Chamundi hills in Mysore. There he sat alone. He was feeling hollow, empty, and completely all alone. The driving force of his life, which was Swamiji, had gone, and he went into deep meditation. He stayed there for more than 2 days continuously. Then he heard a sound nearby. Srinivasa came out of his withdrawn state, and standing before him in a dazzling, surrounded by brilliant ethereal light, was Swamiji. And Swamiji spoke to him. Your time has come to do tapas. The 20 years that you served selflessly has given you fruits of 7 years of tapas. If you now do another 5 years, it will be enough. Srinivasa Dikshitar replied, Gurudev, I simply want to serve you in your mission. I don't want to do any tapas. Then Swamiji smiled gently. When the time is ripe, you will have to sit. Circumstances will also force you because of your prarabdha. Therefore, return to Dehradun. Do not worry, and I am always with you. After this vision of Swamiji at Chamundi Hills, Srinivasa's heart became light, and then he traveled back to Dehradun ashram. Before I tell you about the commencement of Babaji's tapas, I need to tell you about someone, and her name is Ma Amba Shivaranjani. We call her Ma Ambaji. The first time when she saw Babaji, she was 10 years old, and it was 1979. A program of Swamiji's in Agra, where Srinivasa Dikshitar was playing dholak. She was just a child watching, but something registered. In her school years, she was active in sports and excelled, winning overall Best Student of the Year award. Years later, as she grew, she began visiting Babaji's ashram in Dehradun regularly. She would come up with questions about the Atman, about the mind, about the meditations, about the teachings of Ramana Maharishi and the great yogis. She understood even then that this was not an ordinary person. And so, before Babaji ever went into tapas, she became his first disciple. When Babaji was initiated into tapas by Swamiji, there was no one to take care of Babaji properly. Ma Ambaji did not hesitate. She left her home, came to Dehradun ashram and stayed. She became the primary caretaker of Babaji's physical body during those 5 years of deep, relentless meditation. After the Mahasamadhi of Swamiji, Srinivasa Dikshitar had lost interest in the world. But the vision of Swamiji in Chamundi Hills gave the necessary energy to live in the world. He resumed his normal routine and duties in Dehradun ashram. Months after Swamiji's Mahasamadhi, in the March of 1994, while a homa was being performed at the ashram in November of 1994, Swamiji's glowing form manifested from the homa fire. And Swamiji said that the 5th day from now will be Kartik Sukla Paksham. On that day, I shall appear again and make you to sit for tapas. No one saw this form of Swamiji except Babaji. But Babaji kept this incident to himself. 5 days later, after the evening puja, Swamiji's dazzling form manifested from his own photograph on the dais. And Swamiji came to Srinivasa, took his hand and led him to a room at the rear of the hall and directed him to sit and close his eyes. As Srinivasa Dikshitar closed his eyes, Swamiji touched between the eyebrows of Srinivasa, and Srinivasa felt as if he was sinking into a deep sea of space, total darkness. And then Swamiji's voice spoke, "Look, from this room, either you must come out as a yogi or your dead body shall come out. Do not abandon the practice under any circumstances until you reach the goal." Babaji's tapas had begun. Firstly, he began facing north. On every full moon, Swamiji would appear surrounded by brilliant light, reassuring his disciple, instructing and guiding. After 1 year and 3 months, a deity appeared, blessed him and gave him a mantra on Ashtami day. The deity spoke respectfully, "May your tapas be completed soon and you become a yogi and obtain your Guru's powers and grace." On the next full moon day, Swamiji manifested and asked Srinivasa about the deity. Srinivasa repeated the mantra. Then Swamiji asked him to face east and resume his tapas. Facing east for nearly 2 years, the tests became severe. He had terrifying visions, full physical manifestations. Beings were lunging toward him, threatening and screaming, and they would say, "We won't allow you to continue this tapas. You cannot succeed." But Srinivasa simply watched them, and they vanished before touching him. Then came the physical suffering. He could not even digest milk. Ma Ambaji would dilute the milk. They even tried vegetable soup. So whatever she could find so that Babaji's body could be sustained. Then boils and pimples started appearing on Babaji's body. And sitting for a long time in the meditation became painful. But he continued. Then came temptations, visions of other worlds, beautiful realms, powers, invitations to live and experience wonders. But Babaji refused each one, saying, "My Guru will be taking me. I will go only with my Guru." And the most difficult test of all, the maddening pull, the feeling that his head was going to burst, the overwhelming urge to simply get up and run. But he continued to sit in meditation. Outside that room, Ma Ambaji sat too, steady, watchful, facing west for 8 months. The mind began to quiet completely. The noise of the accumulated habit slowly erased. Samadhi began to occur. The thought of "I am" vanished. Now Babaji was only aware of the existence itself. It was during this period, on a full moon visit, that Swamiji gave him, Srinivasa Dikshitar, his new name, that is Shri Shivarudra Balayogi. Shiva means the stillness of the mind. Rudra means the immense creative energy. And Bala means the name of Parvati, the Divine Mother. And Yogi means the one who has attained union with the Self. In the final months, facing south and then north and again towards Mount Kailash, the last human test arrived. His mother, Sharada Devi, who had blessed him and sent him on the path of sadhana, was sick. She had fallen ill during his tapas. She chose not to tell him, but she did not want to disturb him. Her only wish was to see his face one more last time. Therefore, she made the long, difficult journey from Bangalore to Dehradun. She was ill, elderly, traveling by train and car just to have his darshan. Babaji was in deep dhyana all day. At 10 p.m. he allowed visitors. So his mother came. He spoke with her, asked her about her health. She stayed in Dehradun for 4 days. And she said, "I am grateful to God and Guru Maharaj that I got a chance to have your darshan. If I stay more days, then you might be disturbed. Therefore, better that I leave." And then she left. And when she reached Bangalore after a couple of days, she departed this world in the final months of Babaji's tapas. And Swamiji instructed Babaji, do not leave the room. And Srinivasa obeyed, and he could not attend his mother's funeral. Finally, he passed the test of the heart. Then on the auspicious day of Kartik Shukla Paksham, the divine form of Ardhanarishvara appeared, half Lord Shiva, half Goddess Parvati. And they blessed him and said, your tapas is complete. Now that we have come due to your tapas, you do not require your guru. Go ahead. You will have many followers. This was the final test. God wanted to see if there was any trace of ego which remained, or would he grasp the achievement for himself. But without a moment's hesitation, Srinivasa replied, I want only the lotus feet of my Guru. I offer my life at the lotus feet of Divine Guru, who helped and guided me to this. If you want to bless me that I can always remain at the lotus feet of my Guru and serve him and work according to his guidance. It is the Guru's grace which is needed and nothing else. The deity disappeared, and in that same spot, Swamiji appeared. And it occurred to Srinivasa in that moment that this Ardhanarishvara is none other than my Divine Guru. My Divine Guru is none other than Ardhanarishvara, the Divine Paramatma, the ultimate truth. Then Swamiji directed him, after you come out of tapas, inspire the people of this world to practice Jangama Dhyana meditation and know themselves. Through this practice, they can achieve total peace. Finally, Srinivasa Dikshitar came out of that room as a yogi, fulfilling his Guru's command. When Babaji emerged from tapas, the mission began, and Ma Ambaji was right there. She didn't step back after 5 years were complete, but she stepped forward. She took sannyas, renouncing her personal life entirely, and she has been at Babaji's side ever since. She accompanies him across the world, organizing and conducting all programs in India and overseas. She manages and maintains the Dehradun ashram. She also attends to Babaji personally every day. She is total selfless in her service. She seeks no recognition and no position. She simply showed up first as a child of 10 and has never stopped showing up. Babaji continues the direct tradition of his guru, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj. He teaches Jangama Dhyana, the ancient silent meditation technique practiced by the great sages of India since time immemorial. It is simple, it is practical, and it is available to everyone. No charge for initiation, no caste, no creed, no religion, no nationality, and no condition except sincerity. Babaji has been doing this for over 23 years across the USA, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and India, giving darshan, giving diksha, initiation into Jangama Dhyana meditation, and conducting satsangs, all running on voluntary donations alone. Because that is how the lineage began. When Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj emerged from his own 12-year tapas in 1962, he offered this gift freely to all of humanity. And therefore Babaji also carries that same flame, unchanged, uncompromised. Divine Guru Babaji also walks the path of bhakti. Babaji says, faith in the name of Guru can work wonders. You lose anything, but never lose faith. Because if you lose faith, then you have lost the battle. You lost everything. Babaji also sings bhajans. He has recorded devotional music. He has written many books. He has also given commentary on Viveka Chudamani and the Ashtavakra Gita. He organizes mass feeding, that is Annadanam, at his programs, because feeding the body and feeding the soul are not separate acts of service. And twice a year at the ashram in Devarai Samudra, Babaji conducts 14-day meditation retreat in February and also in October. If anyone with a serious wish to deepen their practice and receive daily guidance from a self-realized master, this is a wonderful opportunity. This is not a workshop, not a wellness program. It is a divine opportunity, rare in this world, to sit in the presence of a living yogi and be guided towards your own self. This is Babaji's story. A boy who heard a song about death at the age of 7 years, who prayed for a guru with everything in him, who left home, served for 20 years, grieved, surrendered, sat in tapas for 5 years, tested by terror, by temptation, by the death of his own mother, by the divine beings offering him everything and choosing every single time to remain at the feet of his guru. And beside him, through the most intense years of all, a sadhavi who recognized his greatness before anyone else did and gave her life to protect and serve that flame, Ma Ambaji, Babaji's first disciple, his steadfast companion in the mission to this day. This lineage is alive. Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj. The teaching is not locked in a book. It is not behind a paywall. And it is being offered right now freely. And Babaji's mission continues. For anyone who is ready, every week Babaji conducts online Jangama Dhyana sessions. Devotees from all over the world attend, sitting together in silence under his guidance. It is totally free. The link for registration is below in the description. This story reflects my personal reverence for my divine guru, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi Maharaj, whom we affectionately call as Babaji. For my divine guru, Shri Shivarudra Balayogi's official teachings, please visit his website shivarudrabalayogi.org. Sada Shiva Samarambam Shri Shivabalayogi Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam.